Hey everyone, welcome back to GST Park. In this video, we'll be discussing about some of the amendments which are there in tax invoice, credit and debit note. So that we will be discussing here. Chalo. We will start again the chapter tax invoice, credit and debit note which are applicable for your examination, that amendments. So what is given in the amendment? So the amendment says that the threshold limit, remember for e-invoicing, we discussed that in case of e-invoicing, there was one threshold, correct? No. So the threshold was 10 crore rupees. Now it has been amended and they made it as 5 crores. Threshold limit got reduced to 5 crores. It is not 10 crores, now it is 5 crores. Okay, with effect from for 1/10/2020, e-invoicing was made mandatory. 1/10/2020. E-invoicing was made mandatory for all the registered business with an aggregate turnover based on PAN in any preceding financial year from 2017-2018 onwards. That means even in 2017-2018, if your turnover is more than 500 crores, people, it was 500 crores earlier, and for crores for issue for all the B2B invoices. Since then, the threshold limit of the aggregate turnover for issuing the e-invoices is being progressively reduced. That means immediately it did not reduce to 500. From 500, it did not reduce to 10. So progressively they did reduce it to 10. With effect from 1/8/2023, such limit has been reduced to 5 crores. Now it is 5 crores. In classroom, we did discussed about it as 10 crore. Now again, statutory update mein it is given that it is 5 crore. Thus, e-invoicing has been made mandatory for all registered business with an aggregate turnover in any preceding financial year from 2018 onwards greater than 5 crores. E-invoicing is mandatory. In your case, e-invoicing is mandatory if your turnover is greater than 5 crores. After this, there was one small circular which has come, very small circular, and Faltugiri it was. Faltugiri, e-invoicing, again about e-invoicing. Okay, total bakwas. Listen, applicability of e-invoicing to government department etc. registered solely for the purpose of deduction of the tax at source as per the provisions of section number 51. Listen, sir, I have to give e-invoicing to everyone if my turnover is greater than 5 crores. Okay, if I am giving services, if I am supplying to a registered person, then I have to give e-invoicing. Now the question is, sir, my turnover is more than 5 crores. Okay, I am supplying it to a registered person, then I have to give e-invoicing. I have to give e-invoice. Whether this e-invoice is applicable if I am giving supply to a government department and PSU etc. who are registered only for the purpose of deducting tax at section 51. So they are not doing any supplies. If you have read TDS and TCS chapter, specifically TDS chapter, in that who is required to do the TDS? The government department, agency, local authority. Even if they are not doing any outward supplies, only for TDS purpose they have taken registration, sir. In case if I am supplying to them, even then I am required to take the e-invoicing, sir. That was the question. Arey, what kind of question it is? Government said, see, registered person is registered person. So now if he is taken registration as per section number 22 or 24 or 25 or section number 51 or 52, he is a registered person, that's all. I know only one registered person who has registered under section 25, that registered person. So the clarification was, the circular was, even if you are supplying it to the person who are mentioned here, who have taken registration only for the purpose of TDS and TCS, and they are not making any outward supplies, even then they are registered person. Makkale, they are registered person. So that here what the circular says, the issue which arose for consideration was whether e-invoicing is applicable for a supplies made by a registered person whose turnover exceeds the prescribed threshold for registration of e-invoicing. Two government department or establishment, government agencies, local authorities, PSUs, where the registered solely for the purpose of deduction of TDS, sir. Deduction of TDS under section 51, it is clarified that the government departments are establishment, government agencies, local authorities and PSUs required to deduct TDS under section 51 are liable for compulsory registration. Correct? No? Section number 24 may we did discussed in section number 24 that ISRO tank TDS deductor and TCS collector required to take the compulsory registration. Okay. Therefore, the government department or establishment, agency, local authorities, PSUs registered solely for the purpose of deduction of TDS as per section number 51 are to be treated as registered person. Under GST law as per the provisions of section number 294. Who are registered person? Those who are registered under this law, they are registered person. Under section 25, if you are registered, then you are registered person. Accordingly, the registered person whose turnover exceeds the prescribed threshold limit for generation of e-invoicing. What is the threshold limit for generating e-invoicing? It is 5 crores. It is 5 crores. So if it crosses, is required to issue e-invoices for the supplies made to such government departments or establishments as well. So don't escape. You cannot escape from this. You have to do the e-invoicing to them also. So the two circulars were there. One notification, another one circular. What was the notification? Earlier it was 10 crores. Now it is not 10 crores. It is 5 crores. If your turnover in any of the preceding financial year from 2017-18 till now, any financial year, if your turnover is greater than 5 crores, you have to do e-invoicing. First May 2020 May it was 500 crores. Now it is not 500 crores. Progressively they have reduced it. Now it is 5 crores. If your turnover is more than 5 crores, then you have to go for e-invoicing, mandatory. If you are supplying it to the registered person. Now registered person, next circular mein there was one doubt. So this government departments, local authority, agencies, they are taking registration only for what purpose, sir? Only for the purpose of making TDS. Whether they are also considered as a registered person so that we have to give e-invoice? Yes, you have to give e-invoice. So this is about the chapter tax invoice and credit debit note. Tax invoices, credit note, debit note ka amendments. Next one, now the amendment is payment of tax. Next amendment is in payment of tax. Very, very, very important one. People don't miss this. To know this, I'll tell you that better to pause here and read the rule number 88B. Rule number 88B, section number 50. Section number 50, subsection 3 and rule 88B. Now the question is, sir, now the question is, sir, rule 88B, section number 50, subsection 3, rule 88B, what it says. First you have to see that. So rule number 50, subsection 3, section number 50, subsection 3. What section number 50, subsection 3 says? If you are availing the ITC, wrong availment of ITC. You avail the ITC, which is wrong availment. You are not supposed to avail the ITC, but you have availed the ITC in case of wrong availment of ITC and utilization. People don't miss the word utilization also. See, so you have to remember that the amount of ITC wrongly availed and utilized. Wrongly availed and utilized. If you have wrongly availed the ITC and utilized it, then from the date of availment till the date of utilization, from the date of utilization, availed and utilized, from the date of utilization till the date of reversal, how many days are there? For that you have to pay 24%. It was 24%, later it was changed to 18%, correct? No? Okay, you have to pay the interest. Remember, you have to pay the interest. Now, So this you remember, but I think you are missing one point there. What you have missed the point, but in the classroom we have discussed about this. In the classroom we have discussed about this, especially this one. The input tax credit, listen to me carefully. Input tax credit wrongly availed shall be construed have been utilized when we will consider it as utilization when the balance in the electronic credit ledger falls below the amount of input tax credit wrongly availed. If you have availed wrong availment of input tax credit, if you have wrongly availed input tax credit, that is not enough, utilization also. Now, what is the meaning of utilization? If your balance in electronic credit ledger falls below after utilization, if the balance in electronic credit ledger falls below the amount of input tax credit wrongly availed and the extent of such utilization of input tax credit shall be the amount by which balance in electronic credit ledger falls below. What amount is below? See, if the credit amount is below the credit ledger after utilization, credit ledger mein there is one amount, no? If that is below the wrong availment, example, you have availed and utilized 35,000 rupees. You have availed and utilized, wrongly availed and utilized 35,000 rupees, and after utilization, what is there in the balance? That is 20,000. What is the difference between these two? 35,000 and 20,000. Wrong availment and utilization is 35,000. And after utilization, what is there in the balance? That is 20,000. Now, oh my goodness, the difference is 15,000. So that will be considered as wrong utilization. When you are reversing it, on that 15,000 there is interest. On that 15,000 there is interest. So that is what we have discussed in the classroom. Now we will see what is the amendment. Amendment says that clarification on charging the interest under section 50 subsection 3, that is wrong availment and utilization. In case of wrong availment of IGST, people, this is related only to IGST. You have wrongly availed IGST and utilized this. Only then this clarification is applicable. And reversal thereof, you have wrongly availed and reversed it. In that case, there was one clarification. So what was the issue? Whether in case of wrong availment of GST, IGST credit by a registered person and reversal thereof, for the calculation of interest under Rule 88B, whether the balance of ITC available in electronic credit ledger ECL under head IGST only needs to be considered, or total ITC available in electronic ledger under the head IGST, CGST, SGST taken together has to be considered. Sir, what I have done? I have wrongly availed IGST and I utilized it for IGST. Wrong availment of IGST and utilized it for IGST. Now, there is below the balance. So now you have wrongly availed 30,000. See, you have wrongly availed 30,000. In that availment, you have utilized only 5,000. Wrong availment means 5,000, and you are reversing that other amount. So now ITC balance, IGST ka ITC balance is falling below that. Only on IGST, sir, or on complete balance? That we have to calculate for falling below. See what is given here. Under the head of IGST only needs to be considered, or total ITC availed in electronic credit ledger, that has to be considered, sir. So there was one question. We will do one thing. This issue we will understand it better with the help of one example. First we will see this example, later we will go to that point again. Again, everyone, 100% attention here. If you distract here and there, no, you will not understand. 100% attention here. I am telling you, your attention should be here, 100%. Now, opening balance in credit ledger. How much was the opening balance in credit ledger? Credit ledger, IGST 20,000 was there, CGST 40,000 was there, SGST 40,000 was there. In the beginning, opening balance in credit ledger for the month of, example, October. This is the month of October. In the month of October, 20,000, 40,000, 40,000. CGST, SGST, IGST. IGST 20,000, CGST 40,000, SGST 40,000. Total it is 1 lakh. Correct now? 40, 40, 80 plus 20, 1 lakh. Credit availed during the year. So credit that you have availed during the year, during the tax period, not year, I'm so sorry. Tax period. What is the meaning of tax period? Month. October month. Tax period is the October month. IGST is 45,000. You have availed 45,000 of IGST, consist of 30,000 ITC on TV purchased for home consumption, home use. So you have purchased one TV for your home. So that is imported TV. Example, 2 lakh rupees ka TV, 20% or 18% or something. GST was there. Think 30,000 was the IGST. You purchased it from other state. You have paid IGST. You gave your GST number there. He did put that to GST. In GSTR1, he did put that in GSTR1. Now sir, 30,000 rupees, which was, I did avail also. I did avail that 30,000 rupees. Totally 45,000 now, which consists 30,000. Actually, we should not avail that ITC. Wrong availment it is. I should not avail. Why sir? It is blocked. Section number 17, subsection 5, clause H, if I am not wrong. It is blocked. Blocked credit. If you are using for personal consumption, you cannot avail ITC. Sir, I have availed ITC. Wrong availment of the ITC. And 10,000 from CGST, 10,000 from SGST. Okay. 10,000 CGST, 10,000 from SGST availed. So there is no wrong availment. CGST, SGST is proper. Output tax liability for the tax period is 80,000 IGST, 20,000 CGST, SGST 20,000. Okay, that is output tax liability which is there in your this month tax period, October month. Now what you will do? See, balance after utilization, ITC balance after utilization in 3B that we are seeing now. Look at this. So actually you have to do this, but I have done this already. Opening is 20,000, correct now? 20,000 was there in the opening. Opening was 20,000. If you see this here, see, opening was 20,000 IGST. Now, how much availed during the year? 45,000. The moment you avail it, that will get added to your the credit ledger. 45,000 availed, and you have utilized 65,000. Complete 65,000 you have utilized. Why sir? Because see, opening was 20,000. Opening was 20,000. Here. Yeah, opening was 20,000. Availed was 45,000. So totally it is 65,000. But how much is the output liability here? How much is output IGST? 80,000 is the output IGST. So now 65,000 ITC, you remember section number 49 subsection 5. First you have to nullify that IGST ka bucket. IGST credit, no, first you have to utilize it. So that 65,000 ke liye 65,000 completely utilized. First I will use it for IGST only. I completely utilized it. So after that the balance is 0. IGST mein there is no balance, 0 sir. IGST closing balance is 0. Okay, but still from 80,000 only 65,000 is gone. Now there is 15,000, 65,000 plus 15,000 is 18,000. 15,000 I have to take it from CGST now. Okay, now listen, opening balance in CGST is 40,000, correct no? Opening balance is 40,000. Add availed. This time how much you availed this time? That is credit availed. That is 10,000. Okay sir, availed. So totally 50,000. Balance is 50,000. In that first CGST you have to utilize towards CGST. 20,000 was the outstanding, correct no? 20,000 CGST output tax liability. First I will utilize for that. Still from 50,000, 20,000 is gone. Still 30,000 is there. That 30,000 pay, 15,000 IGST which was pending, no, that I will use. IGST which is pending now, see, 65,000 is gone. From IGST, 65,000 is gone. Still 15,000 is pending, no, that I will use. So completely, how much? 20,000 CGST, I will use it towards CGST and 15,000 towards IGST. Now, total 35,000 is utilized. 35,000 is utilized. How much is pending now? Out of 50,000, 35,000 is gone. 15,000 is pending. That is the balance here. Next one, after this, SGST. Same calculation first 40,000. See now here total IGST is nullified. IGST liability was there 80,000. 65,000 from IGST including wrong availment. 65,000 also I have taken it. And 15,000 from CGST. Totally IGST is nil. IGST is nil now, gone. CGST 40,000 was there plus 10,000, 50,000 was the credit. In that 35,000, 20,000 CGST ka credit and 15,000 IGST ka credit. Totally 35,000, that is also gone. 15,000 is pending now. Closing balance is 15,000. Later SGST. Now we will go for SGST. 40,000 was there, 10,000 is availed. Totally 50,000. 50,000 in that 20,000 is utilized. Why utilized, sir? Here output tax. First SGST you have to utilize towards SGST. Okay, gone, sir. IGST is there? No. Can I use it for CGST if the balance was there? Can I use it for CGST? No. So SGST mein complete 30,000 is pending now. So that is there in my balance. Total balance is how much? 45,000. No. Total balance 30,000 plus 15,000. Totally it will be here. In this case it will be 45,000. 30,000 closing balance. CGST mein 15,000, SGST mein 30,000. Totally it is 45,000. Now you tell me, can I use IGST for can I use CGST, SGST? Can I use CGST, SGST for the setting off? Can I use CGST, SGST for setting off IGST? Yes, no. I can use CGST credit and SGST credit to set off IGST. What if I was not availed? What if I have not availed that extra 30,000? So here this extra 30,000, what if I did not avail this extra 30,000? What if I did not avail that extra 30,000 which was wrongly availed? No. In that case, what would have been the case here? So 30,000 was wrongly availed. So if I take out that, only 15,000, no? 20,000 plus 15,000, that is 35,000. I will take out 35,000. Still, how much was pending? 45,000. Still 45,000 was there. See, correct, no? Here, I can use this 30,000 and 15,000 to pay off that 45,000. Yes or no? Yes. See, what is the crux? What is the crux now? If that 30,000 was not there, then even then, whatever the balance which was there here, no, that I could have used, for payment of this liability. Or in short, see, the total is 45,000, no, total is 30,000 plus, in this case 30,000 plus 15,000, total is 45,000. This total of 45,000 is not below 30,000. If it falls below the wrong availment, then see, if it falls, the balance in IGST, CGST, SGST, put it together. If it falls below the wrong availment, then it will invoke what? The interest. So now it is not falling below, no. It is not falling, the total amount 30 plus 15,000, 45,000 is not falling below the wrong availment. That's why government told here you are not liable for interest. Here you are, don't worry, you are not liable for interest. If this total was below 30,000, then you are liable for interest. You want the example? Okay. We will take one more case scenario which is given here. Case scenario 2. Opening balance, no? Opening balance in IGST was 0. There was no opening balance at all. There was no opening balance. Rest everything is same. See, 40,000 CGST, 40,000 SGST, total is 1 lakh. Credit availed is 45,000, which includes 30,000 ITC on TV purchase for home use. 10,000 is CGST, 10,000 SGST availed, and output tax liability is also 80,000, 20,000, 20,000. Balance now, the change is here. Opening balance is 0. Availed is 45,000, no? How much is availed? In this case, how much is availed? 45,000 is availed, and utilized is also 45,000 because 80,000 was IGST output tax liability. From that 80,000, 45,000 is taken out. So wrongly availed, that is also included there. 45,000 is gone. Now how much is pending? Still 35,000 has to be paid. 35,000 is required to be paid. Correct? No, 35,000 is required to be paid. Now, okay, sir. IGST ka khali now. 35,000 IGST. See, totally 80,000 IGST had to be paid. 80,000 has to be paid. In that 80,000 here, okay, in this 80,000, now 45,000 including wrong availment. Think, you have utilized it. Including wrong availment, 80,000 minus 45,000. Kitna mila? Kitna bacha? 35,000. Now you use IGST credit in CGST to pay this off. Provided first you have to pay off CGST ka credit. See, CGST opening was 40,000, availed is 10,000. Totally 50,000. 40,000 plus 10,000, total 50,000. In that 50,000, first you have to utilize that credit for payment of CGST. 20,000 you will pay for CGST. How much is pending now? 30,000. How much you require to set off IGST ka liability? 35,000. 35,000 mein 30,000 is gone. CGST is nil now. Can you recall? If you nullify CGST, only then you can go for SGST. Okay. Now this is also khali, sir. 40,000 SGST was the opening balance. And 10,000 extra availed. You have availed 10,000 extra. 40,000 was the opening, 10,000 extra that you have availed. So that totally 50,000 is there. First you utilize this 50,000 towards the payment of SGST. How much was SGST output tax liability? Output tax liability was 20,000. So finally 50,000 minus 20,000. How much is pending now? 30,000. In that, see, IGST 80,000 was there, minus 45,000. 35,000 was remaining. From that 35,000, I used 30,000 from CGST. Still 5,000 is there, no? That also avail now. Utilize now. 5,000 you have utilized. Extra 5,000 you utilized. 20,000 for SGST, 5,000 for IGST. Totally 25,000 you have utilized now. This 25,000 you have utilized. 40,000 plus 10,000 plus 25,000. I mean 40,000 plus 10,000, 50,000 minus 25,000. Now, how much is pending now? 25,000. So the pending amount is 25,000, which falls below wrong availment. Which falls below wrong availment. How much was your wrong availment? 30,000. Now the balance, the total balance, IGST, CGST, SGST ka balance is 25,000. 0 in IGST, 0 in CGST, SGST mein it is 25,000. So which is falling below that 30,000. So on additional, see, 30,000 wrong availment, you have to reverse it. While reversing, 25,000 you will reverse it from this balance. I have not utilized it, I am so sorry. But 5,000 no, I did utilize. On that 5,000 you have to pay interest. On that 5,000 no, you have to pay interest. On that 5,000 you have to pay interest. So this is given in that circular. In this circular no, it is, that is what given. Listen. Since in this circular no, since the amount of ITC available in ECL under any head, IGST, CGST, SGST can be utilized for the payment of liability of IGST. Correct? No, you can use credit in CGST, SGST, UTGST for the payment of IGST. It is total ITC available in ECL under the head of IGST, CGST and SGST taken together, that has to be considered for calculation of interest. If total amount, that total of CGST, SGST, IGST, UTGST, if that total amount, the total balance in that, the balance in all these, put it together, if that total balance falls below the wrong availment, then whatever the difference no, on that you have to pay interest. Whatever the difference is there, on that together, taking this together, on that you have to pay the interest under 88B. And for determining as to whether the balance in ECL has fallen below the amount of wrongly availed ITC of IGST. That's what I told. IGST mein whatever you have availed, no, wrongly availed, if that total amount falls below this, then you have to pay the interest on that differential amount. So, and to what extent the balance in ECL has fallen below the said amount of wrongly availed credit. Thus, in the case where credit has been wrongly availed and subsequently reversed on certain date, there will not be interest liability under section 50 subsection 3 if during the time period starting from availment and up to the reversal, from the availment up to the reversal, the balance in ITC in ECL under the head IGST, CGST, SGST taken together has never fallen below the amount of such wrongly availed ITC. So in our example, first example it was. That was first example. So in first example it is given, so even if available balance in IGST credit ECL individually falls below. See in this example, no, IGST balance individually, na, it will fall below 30,000. Correct, no? If you see that, if you see the closing balance here, it is 0. IGST balance has fallen below 30,000. 0. IGST balance is 0. Wrongly availment is 30,000. That 0 is below 30,000. That has fallen below 30,000. No, on that, if you are reversing that 30,000, on that interest is not there. On that interest is not there because total balance, no, 30,000 plus 45,000. Sorry, 30,000 plus 15,000, that amounts to 45,000. This is what important one. I hope you are getting this. Continue studying. However, when the balance ITC under the head IGST, CGST, SGST of ECL electronic credit ledger taken together falls below the wrongly availed amount of IGST credit. This is only applicable for IGST credit. Then it will amount to utilization of such wrongly availed IGST credit, and the extent of utilization will be the extent to which total balance is under the head IGST, CGST, SGST taken together falls below such amount wrongly availed in IGST credit, and will attract interest as per section 53 read with section number 20 of IGST Act and of rule 88B3. Rule 88B3 के हिसाब से. So there it is given how to calculate that. Hope this circular was clear to you. Only the thing is, IGST, for the purpose of IGST, you have wrongly availed and utilized it. That's okay. If you have utilized it, provided total of ECL, electronic credit ledger ka total balance has not fallen below the wrong avail and utilization of this IGST. If total is above, see 30,000 is wrong availment, total is more than 30,000, then you have to reverse 30,000, but you don't have to pay the interest on that 30,000. You have to reverse, but don't pay the interest. Interest is not there. But what if 30,000 you have availed, but CGST, SGST, UTGST, IGST balance put together that is below 30,000? Then whatever the difference, no, example that is 10,000 and this is 30,000. What is the difference here? 20,000. How much you have to reverse now? 30,000. You have to reverse 30,000. 10,000 by credit ledger, 20,000 by cash. You have to pay the cash, no? On that 20,000 you have to pay interest. On that 20,000 you have to pay interest. I hope you are getting this. Next amendment was whether the credit of compensation cess available in ECL shall be taken into account while considering the balance in ECL for the purpose of calculation of interest under 88B3. Already we have discussed what is there in 88B3. Now calculation of cess amount is also considered. Did we consider? While calculating the, just now in this examples, no, did we consider in this example? We have taken only CGST, SGST, IGST balance. We have taken only CGST, SGST, IGST balance. Don't take cess. Cess will not be included. Sir, taken together. In that together, cess is also included? No. Cess is separate. Cess is separate. So that is given here. Since ITC in respect of compensation cess can be utilized only towards payment of compensation cess. You cannot use compensation cess for payment of IGST, CGST, SGST. So in that case, don't utilize. Thus, credit of compensation cess cannot be utilized for payment of CGST, SGST or IGST. You cannot use compensation cess for payment of IGST and or reversal of the credit under the said heads. Accordingly, the credit of compensation cess available in ECL cannot be taken into account while considering the balance of ECL for the purpose of calculation of interest under Rule 88B3. No, that is put together, everything put together. No. So you cannot consider cess, compensation cess for that put together balance. So that is given in the circular. So this is about in the some clarifications and notifications, notification and circular. One notification was there, one circular. Sorry, both are circulars, no? Yeah, both are circulars. That is only one circular was there. In that 2 points were there. Okay, that is one point. Now we will move on to last topic of this video, that is TDS and TCS. Faltugiri, nothing people, very easy one. TDS and TCS, TDS and TCS, okay, which is not applicable for CMA guys. So CMA, if you are watching this, to you TDS and TCS chapter is not there in your syllabus, so you can stop it here. Okay, TDS and TCS is not there, but if you wish to watch that, you can watch it in YouTube, you know this. Okay, so TDS and TCS, chapter TDS and TCS, which is a new addition to you guys, TDS and TCS, that is new addition. So what has for this syllabus, for this this year onwards, new syllabus के लिए TDS and TCS. So especially the details of TCS furnished by ECO to be made available electronically only to the registered supplier. See, फालतूगिरी है ये. So what is there in this? See, now earlier remember, if a supplier supplying through e-commerce, any goods or services supplying through e-commerce, then compulsory registration was there. But later, remember in last video we discussed about this, compulsory registration was there. Now for service provider, one exemption came, up to 20 lakhs and 10 lakhs you are not required to take the registration. Later, now recently one more amendment, even for goods guys, up to 20 lakhs and 10 lakhs or 40 lakhs you are not required to take the registration, not required. So for them, see, I am supplying goods or services through e-commerce, I am not registered, sir. In last video, I have clarified that if I am not registered and I am supplying through e-commerce, then e-commerce is not required to do TCS to me. Earlier in TCS chapter, we have discussed that TCS was compulsory. Now, if an unregistered supplier of service or goods, if they are supplying through e-commerce, for them, registration is not compulsory. And TCS is also not there. For them, TCS is also not there. So unregistered supplier supplying through e-commerce, registration is not compulsory, so that TCS should not be done. So that's why if TCS is not done, then there is some amendment. What is the amendment? Under unregistered supplier of services, and now unregistered supplier of the goods also are allowed to make supplies through e-commerce. Correct? No, earlier it was not there, but now unregistered supplier of services, unregistered supplier of goods, both are eligible for e-commerce till the time their turnover does not exceed the prescribed threshold limit. If that crosses, then they have to go for registration. Rule 67 has been amended to clearly bring out that the details of TCS furnished by ECOs in form GSTR 8 shall be made available only to the registered supplier, as the supplies by unregistered person do not attract TCS. So now, earlier, no, this e-commerce operator, they used to give some statement to the registered person that we have done so and so much of TCS. See, if there is supplier who is supplying through e-commerce, that person was registered. Earlier he has to take, mandatorily he has to take the registration. And any TCS is done, then this e-commerce operator used to give one statement to that person that so much of TCS is done to you. Now government says that if that eco guy, he is not registered, why you have to give the statement? Because TCS is not done, no? It does not attract TCS. When the TCS is not done, you have not done any TCS, then why you give the statement? Don't give the statement. Not required. Amended rule, rule 67(2) provides as follows. The details of tax collected at source under section 52(1) furnished by ECO shall be made available electronically to each of the registered suppliers. Only to registered suppliers under GST, those who are registered, no, only to them you give the statement on the common portal after filing GSTR 8 for claiming the amount of tax collected in his electronic cash ledger after validation. So who will get that statement? Only ECO shall made available electronically to each registered supplier. If that person is unregistered one, then he will not get the statement. So this is a simple one. So e-commerce, supplier through e-commerce, if you are registered, you will get the statement. If you are not registered, then there is no point in giving the statement because TCS is not done. As simple as that. I hope you enjoyed this video. Next video mein I'll come up with some new topics, new amendment. So there are some, I think in 2 chapters we have to do the amendment. One is exemption, other one is returns. Only in 2 chapters we have to do the amendments. Okay, so we'll do it in next video. Until then, people, thank you so much for your patient listening. We will meet in next video. Keep studying, keep growing. Hail GST. Bye.